Ladies and gentlemen, we have another hoax. Hot off the press from the Biden campaign, quote, Donald Trump confirms plans to jail opponents. Biden's now accusing Donald Trump of doing exactly what he did. Naturally, the campaign coordinated the hoax with the media. We woke up this morning to headlines like these. The New York Times, Trump vows to prosecute rivals, put rule of law on the ballot. Trump vows legal revenge against enemies. Trump wants retribution. That's dangerous, unlawful, and un-American. The guy who got a thrill up his leg is now getting a chill.
Donald Trump, who wants to put them before firing squads, basically. He wants to put them all in jail. He's unbelievable the way he talks about his opponents. I'm telling you, Trump could end up rolling the score. I've got the Congress. I've got the Supreme Court. I own it all. I am a dictator.
Firing squads? When did Trump say firing squads? He didn't. This is what sparked their hoax. Watch.
Focus on those that want people to believe that you want retribution, that you will use the system of justice to go after your political enemies.
So, number one, they're wrong. It has to stop, because otherwise we're not going to have a country. Look, when this election is over, based on what they've done, I would have every right to go after them. We can't have this stuff go on, because you know what? When Biden goes out, everyone says bye-bye, and then he gets indicted 2 days later and they go after him. The country doesn't want that. And you know what? They didn't want it with Hillary Clinton either. After we won against Hillary, people would say, lock her up, lock her up. And I said, wouldn't it be terrible if I locked up the wife of the President of the United States, former, and locked up the former Secretary of State? It's a terrible thing.
So not locking up the guy that locked you up is retribution? What? If that's retribution, I want a refund. Trump didn't say he would lock his opponents up. He said he could, because Democrats opened up a Pandora's box when they did it to him. Could and would. Two different things. Plus, Trump says he wouldn't. It's bad for the country. But if you get your news from the Biden campaign, that's not what you heard, because they clipped his words like this.
It has to stop, because otherwise we're not going to have a country. Look, when this election is over, based on what they've done, I would have every right to go after them.
Just like Dictator on Day One and the bloodbath hoax, this is just another desperate disinformation stunt from the failing Biden campaign. And like every other hoax, the media is playing along. CNN's bookers immediately went to work, looking for anyone they could find on Trump's imaginary target list.
When he tells you that he's going to do something or he says something to that effect, you should take that very seriously. And look, am I concerned? I'm concerned for myself. I'm concerned for my family. I'm concerned for many of us who have spoken the truth about the danger that he is.
And the architects of the Russia hoax rushed to the cameras to say the FBI's scared.
It's terrifying. It's frightening. I have a lot of conversations with former colleagues, people who are or were in the intelligence and law enforcement community and may have worked in, the Obama administration, other places. And, people are really trying to assess, what is life going to be like if Donald Trump wins a second term? And on a very personal level, these are torturous discussions with their family members about whether or not they have to leave the country to avoid being unconstitutionally and illegally detained.
Crooked FBI officials are considering leaving the country if Trump's elected? Let's get out the vote, people. This guy tried to stage a coup, got fired for lying, and he wants to be a hero so badly he's pretending he's going to seek asylum somewhere overseas. He's not going anywhere. He's just trying to scare the public into thinking the FBI won't be able to protect them. You really think a former CIA director like Brennan is going to flee the country? Maxine Waters, no relation, says Trump's planning a civil war, and it's time the FBI investigate his campaign.
I am going to spend some time with the criminal justice system, with the justice system, asking them, tell us what's going on with the domestic terrorists. Are they preparing a civil war against us? Should we be concerned about our safety? What is he doing with this divisive language? It is dangerous, and we're going to have to make sure that we understand that we're not at risk with this man talking in the way that he's doing. How far is this going to go? Are they going to be attacking? Whom are they going to attack? What are we going to do? I've got to get on with trying to get an investigation going.
Trump's not even in office yet, and they're trying to open up a preemptive anti-terror investigation for a threat they dreamt up. Biden's locking up Trump, and he can't talk about it because he's gagged. Where's the investigation into that? Eric Holder, showing a complete lack of self-awareness, worried about what a politicized Justice Department would look like, and in doing so, betrayed the exact playbook the left uses against their enemies. Watch this.
If the president told a compliant attorney general, I don't like what this congressman said about me or did about me, open an investigation on that person. That attorney general could tell a compliant United States attorney to do just that. And then to just look through that person's life and look for anything that you possibly can find. Who's to say what you find in any person's life that might run afoul of the law? The mere fact of an investigation of a person who is a public figure can be reputation ruining, can be politically damaging, not even if you find anything, just the fact that the investigation itself exists.
Wow, Eric, it's almost like you've done this before. This country can smell injustice. They're using the entire system to keep the man down. Some people can relate.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election for both of you?
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges.
In the 3 polls that have just come out post-verdict, Trump's ahead in all of them. And breaking tonight, new Fox polls have Trump leading Joe Biden in 3 major battleground states, Nevada, Arizona, and Florida, and he's tied with Biden in blue state Virginia. Wow. Democrats are just trying to flip the script because the Trump verdict backfired. They're saying, oh yeah, you're the one who wants to lock up your political opponents. But they're the bloodthirsty ones. Listen.
It'll be a couple years until the door slams on Trump. By that point, either he'll be president and trying to take a wrecking ball to the system any way he can, or he'll be a multiple defendant. I'm not sure if in a perfect world where you were just deciding what's best for the country that you would do it this way. But he's got, if he doesn't win, an appreciable chance of dying in prison.
That was a former federal prosecutor telling Al Franken he'd like to see Trump die in prison. Again, not a crazy homeless guy. That's a former federal prosecutor sharing his prison fetish. Raids, gags, mugshots, leg shackles, the tactics used by the left are, dare I say, dictatorial. They've imprisoned a half a dozen people from Trump's circle just to get to him. Bannon, Navarro, Manafort, Cohen, Papadopoulos, Weiselberg. They tried to put General Flynn in prison, a hero. They wiretapped Trump's campaign. Who really is out for revenge? We know. Trump may not want revenge, but there are plenty of Republicans out there who think revenge would be righteous.
You have to get in the game, Republicans. I want every Secretary of State. Are you purging your voting rolls of non-citizens right now? Is every Republican state AG opening investigations into voter fraud right now? Is every House committee controlled by Republicans using its subpoena power in every way it needs to right now? Is every Republican DA starting every investigation they need to right now? Every facet of Republican Party politics and power has to be used right now to go toe to toe with Marxism and beat these communists.
It's not just Miller. Highly esteemed legal scholar John Yoo, the one who authored the enhanced interrogation memo for the Bush administration, says the only way we stop the precedent of political prosecutions is if Republicans give them a taste of their own medicine. Quote, only retaliation in kind can produce the deterrence necessary to enforce a political version of mutually assured destruction. Without the threat of prosecution of their own leaders, Democrats will continue to charge future Republican presidents without restraint. The threat of mutually assured destruction kept the U.S. and the Soviet Union from entering a hot war. It saved humanity. So can it save Washington? Or does an eye for an eye leave the whole world blind? Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.